Second here.
Cool. Yay.
All right. Make sure it's going live. Awesome. Perfect. Says I'm live. All right. So hello everybody. Welcome to Ash's stream. So actually the girl I have with me today contacted me on Twitter. Her name is Lacy, and she wanted to basically come on and discuss what's happening over in Glasgow, Scotland. And so this is going to be a fun show. So Lacy, hello, welcome. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us like kind of what you want to talk about that's going on in your country.
Hi, right, okay, right. Well, my name's Lacy, and my country has been um, a complete mess for since I was a child. I'm being serious. When I was, I'm 28 now, and when I was, this has been going on like from some of my first memories. I remember like when I was maybe about 12. I'm from the south side of Glasgow, and you can fact check me on all of this. Anybody that's listening, anyone that doesn't believe, you can just look on Wikipedia. The last census they done was in 2011. The majority of the Muslim population lives in Glasgow out of the whole of Scotland. Now, out of the whole of Scotland, they all live in Glasgow South. That's where I lived. And then what happened was um, we all knew there was a lot of like we would get approached. I remember like some of my first memories was getting spat at by women in burqas and things. And I mean my MP at the time was a lady called Nicola Sturgeon. You might recognise the name. She knew about all this. She also knew then what it started getting worse. Like there was people like very underage girls getting raped. We would like be walking home from school. We'd get asked how much. It was a very we were the minority. Even when I'm talking about even when I was like 9, 10, and then when I got to I think I was about 11, 12. Yeah, because Chris would have been 33 this March and I'm 28. It was so no, I wouldn't. I would have actually have been. He was. If he would have been 33, yeah, yeah. It was like he was 15 when it happened basically. And what happened was you can just Google his name again. Fact check me. It's K with a kicking K and then Riss Donald. Chris Donald, and this happened where I lived. Like we were friends. Like we hung out. Like in Glasgow, there's like, see, we don't. They'd be called gangs or whatever, but we don't carry knives, we don't carry guns. We just all hang around and drink. So there's nothing else to do, and because it's like for our own protection in different schemes and things in housing areas. But if you do happen to wander into before the migrant crisis, all that kind of stuff years ago, um, we kind of all hung around together, and what we would do is we would fight the other schemes. But now, like, we're just for our own protection, basically. And long story short, what happened was Chris was one of somebody I knew, somebody everybody loved in the community. He was a very great guy. He was 15. He had a bright football or soccer career ahead of him. He was walking home from school, or either I can't remember if he was walking home or walking to school or something like that with his friend. We knew the guy. A car pulled up. It had four Asian, which in the UK, I'm doing air quotation Asian. In the UK, that is code word for Muslim. We have to say that, which is actually racist because, as you know, you can be any race to be Muslim. But if you see in the paper a Muslim gang is raped a woman, you know straight away that means Muslim. It's like the politically correct term. So four Muslim men dragged Chris away. They drove him, took him to a park for just under 4 hours. First of all, they beat him to within an inch of his life. They then stopped. They then stabbed him between 13 and 24 times. They then stopped. In between times, urinating him and pouring milk on him. They then stopped after stabbing him. They then castrated him. he was still alive, all right till the end. They then stopped, again urinating on him and beating on him and doing like horrific things to him, degrading him. I think they put things in his mouth, like his own body parts. They set him on fire while he was still alive because someone heard screaming. It was to the point they then left. The whole thing lasted just under 4 hours. It's all in the Wikipedia. I'll tell you the thing that's infactual though, because we were at the court case. The thing is, basically, when he was actually found, somebody thought it was a burnt body of a cat's carcass because his body was burnt that badly. It was like that size, you know. And so we like it shook my community to the core. It really did because we'd never had like an Asian like an Asian. See, I'm talking that way now, like because I mean words in Britain can go send you to prison. But yeah, like a Muslim attack like that, like we'd never had it because it was kind of new. Like we knew about the rapes and the things like that and the cover-ups, but for them to kill somebody just for being white, like as he was getting dragged away, they were trying to take both of them, and Thomas tried to grab onto Chris, and he slipped away, and the last words he heard him say is, "But why I'm only 15?" Because these guys were in the late 40s, 30s. I think the only one guy, 3 of them fled straight away to Pakistan, never got caught, never have been, never served a day in their life. There's only one guy, Baldy, who pays people for protection and everything. You can't get near him. He walks around the place like he swags about, but he's had several like death attempts to him. That's what he done. But yeah, like that was like the real start of it, kind of. And I told like my MP Nicola Sturgeon, who sold the Scottish people out. This is why it was a 60-40 vote, by the way, 60-50 for this. See, the first time we voted for independence, the reason it was basically because everybody in Glasgow was at the court case. Now only one news outlet came out of all of them. You think this would make national news? A 15-year-old boy being kidnapped and tortured, that in the most horrific way. And the guy says, it was the BBC, and the guy said, they asked him why he done it. His name was Baldy. He says, I done it because he was kafar and he was an infidel. He deserved it.
Oh my God.
Out, and they put it down on Wikipedia today, it still as today, as a racial attack. Yeah, we heard him say it. We heard him say it. We heard him say it throughout the courtroom. We heard him say it on camera. They clipped it. They just done it like that. So then we set up a memorial. The Muslim community came down and ripped it down. That's when things started getting really bad and people had to white flight out the area. It's now a no-go zone for whites. The government won't admit that. Nicola Sturgeon, this is why the second time, see the whole Brexit thing, the people in the Highlands didn't know. They haven't really been affected by the migrant, the diversity. They haven't had the full effects of diversity, if you get what I mean. They're living out in the Highlands where it's nice and it's beautiful still and it's Scotland, and they think, oh, why not? Like, that's beautiful. Like, you get what I mean? And the Highlands is really big. The fishing community, obviously, for their own reasons, in the older ones, they voted Brexit, but it was still that extra 10% were the people, the middle class, and mostly the Highlands that really didn't understand what we were talking about. But the ones we knew, that knew people personally, that had personal friends like gang raped and turned to drugs, because drugs is a big problem in Scotland. So many different stories, like just horrible things. I had a friend that, like I was saying about the drugs things, she actually killed herself with drugs after she was gang raped. And a lot of people know about that, like when I do talks and things, like, because I go to a lot of rallies and things. A lot of the rallies I go to, though, seem to be with Tommy Robertson, who I do not get on with. But
So
yeah,
this has been happening in Scotland for a long time now. So you said,
yeah, this is exactly what I mean, and it does not get reported. I mean, I literally in March there, birthday, because my birthday's. I always remember his birthday because my sister's birthday is the she's March and September. It's like we're basically 6 months apart. So like whenever she like when I posted on March on his birthday, said happy rest in peace, Chris Donald. Would have been 33. That's all I wrote. And it got like retweeted and it was like trend number 2. And then I got like a 7-day suspension from Twitter. I was like, what? For writing a
Wow.
piece for highlighting a horrific crime that was covered up. And Nicola Sturgeon, what she done was sold the Scottish people out. We know about this. She went to all the mosques and she said, if you make me the Prime Minister, I will let you have Sharia law in Scotland, in Glasgow, where you live. And they have it now. They have Sharia patrol. You see the cars, they pull up with their official badges. They'll say to me, like,
Wait,
you.
well, hold on, whoa. Slow this down for a second. There's actually Sharia law in
Yeah,
Scotland.
yeah, 100% in Glasgow, yes, because like I said, the majority there's like you need to understand how many there is in Scotland. Like if I need to get some videos uploaded. Like seeing Glasgow South, where I'm from, it's literally it looks like I can't describe it. Like I think it was you that had a video that was like was it? Did I see it on yours where they were all coming out the car?
What was it coming up?
Like all of these like people coming out of the car.
Oh yeah, I did. I saw
Yeah.
that.
Well, I wrote a comment on that video saying, well, that's kind of like how they live in Glasgow. Like you look, they just live like there's 12 of them in a 2-bedroom apartment, and the house it's just mattresses on the floor. They walk around with their sandals outside, and they come out. They walk around, and the second they see the Sharia patrol goes around, they come out like they're official and they're going to do something. They tell you, look, you better leave for your own safety. And I say, oh, well, what are you going to do? And they're like, I'm not going to do anything, but I'm just telling you, if anything happens to you, we don't say we didn't warn you. And I'm like, what? Like, and then I've had times where I've been like, people have like first they start to come up to you, they ask you how much, like in broken English, and you say like politely, kind of at first. I used to be like, no, not prostitute. Like at first, I used to be like, totally what, like, but then I kind of after a while, you get used to it. Then they get really aggressive because they're like, well, who are you, a kafar and infidel, to turn me down? They threaten you. They start to say they're going to throw acid in your face, like as if they've just got acid in their pocket. But I wouldn't put it past them. So I don't know, like, but the whole thing that really, like, the point I'm trying to make, like, the whole thing with Scotland. It's always been a massive problem, but in Glasgow, but now it's spreading. This is the thing; it's spreading everywhere. That's why we had the chance to get independence. Scotland's wanted independence from England for so long because we know who it's ran by. We do not like the BBC, because of who the BBC represent. That's why Celtic, who Celtic have always they were like Irish, but we learned from the Irish. We looked up to the Irish, and they fought and died for their independence. And now they're just getting raped by migrants left and centre. They're not independent. They're part of the EU, which is evil. It's basically the fourth rank.
Wait, so
It's
Scotland's also part of the EU, correct? Because you guys are still under the Queen's rule, right?
we're still under the Queen's rule for now. But even if we were to, we voted that we got another vote just there. Or see after I went to the Brexit Betrayal rally and confronted Tommy again, calling him a Zionist shill and everything, denied it. It's now I've got all the camera evidence and everything. He admits on camera he's in Israel with his hat. So whatever.
Does in Scotland? So I had a friend that's actually from Britain, and he was saying that their tax dollars actually go to help fund, or not fund, but you get
Yeah.
your tax dollars basically go to fund the media, and the media, of
But
course, is all like
BBC
they're just lying to you. But
This is what I'm saying. You get goons to come round. I don't pay it. There's a whole thing. You can Google all of this. There's an actual movement of people that do this. It's not Tommy Robertson thinks he started it. He didn't start it. Please believe me. We've been on to them for a long time. I do a lot of at work with like survivors and like people that were abused in children's homes and things like that. And it's because he only wants to talk about the white, not he did, sorry, he only wants to talk about, he didn't want to talk about the, like, you know, the Melanie Shaw kind of people. It's
Mm-hmm.
quite famous. I don't know if you know about the story, but I mean, this happens all the time. Basically, the story is a child will get ripped away from a loving family, put into a children's home, into a very dangerous situation and area, and they'll get sexually abused. And then they get, at 16, they get put into these vulnerable women's homes that are all based in Glasgow South.
Mm.
Abuse homes, battered women's homes, all of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you put these women in these places that are full of Muslims that are going to sexually abuse them? It makes no sense.
Right.
And so then they get raped again and all this kind of stuff, and it's just horrible. But yeah,
Well,
like,
actually, I remember seeing a video where this father had his children. They were trying to take his kids away, and they were going to put these. I forget what country it may have been. It was like Ireland or England, maybe, or I can't remember what it was. But he was some European, like a white European, and they were trying to take his kids away to put them in a foster home, and the foster home was like Muslims. And he was like, hell no. So he took his children and basically escaped the country. I think he went to like Russia or something. And they were like protecting him, like, because he was not about to let his daughters go live in a
yeah,
Muslim
you
household.
know what would have happened to them? They'd end up fundamentalist, and they would have been looked down on. They would have been fed like dogs, and I mean, they hate dogs. And how can you hate a dog? Dogs are amazing. Like,
I know. I keep saying like make dogs great again. It's like
yeah,
so I lived in California and it's there's a huge so I was in the Bay Area, California, which is near San Francisco, and the population of just like of Indians and Muslims it's crazy. And I
yeah,
remember I would walk my dog around. There was this pond I used to go to and had, this huge pond. I'd walk my dog around, and it's funny because as I'm walking my dog, the Muslims would like pretty much jump off the
yeah.
sidewalk because they hated dogs so
That's
much. I'm just like, yes, this is like anti-Muslim. It's like having
yeah.
dogs.
How can you think that is disgusting?
Oh,
He does that when he's like, cause he's shaking, he's pretending that he's like, oh, I'm
oh,
but like, but he's like a Muslim protector. It's brilliant. Like,
yeah.
like they're like, and see, whenever you order a taxi now, it's always like a Muslim, and like, it's so annoying. So I always go for Remshire Cab because I know they're Scottish. It's the cab company that I go for. It's just they're a lot easier. It's a cab company. They're outside of Glasgow, but I know that you're gonna get a white driver, and it's not that I'm racist. It's just that you'll phone for a taxi, say that you've got a dog, but they still send a Muslim driver. The Muslim driver then turns around and says, "I'm sorry, we don't take. You can't bring your dog in there," and acts disgusted. I had a Muslim taxi driver tell me one time I had to throw out my roll, and I wasn't even eating it. It was just in the bag, but it was because it was a bacon roll, and I said, like, "Could you smell the bacon?" And I was like, I'm not for. Well, are you gonna refund me? And he was like, no. And I was like, well, I'm not paying your taxi fare then. And then he was like, well, I'll just phone the police. And he says, who do you think they're going to believe, me, an Asian male, or a racist white female? And I was like, how am I being racist? He said, because you're not respecting my religious beliefs. Who do you think the police would believe? And I was like,
Oh dear
I just
God.
knew what he was pulling. Like, they know the game, they know the game, they know the system. And the thing is, as I was saying, my biggest beef though, like, because it is so easy, and a lot of Tommy Robertson supporters, what I try to say to them all the time is, I'm not looking down on you. I really am not, because at one point I did think Tommy Robertson was maybe a great guy. Like a few years back, I thought this Tommy Robertson could be like a good guy, and it wasn't until I got to go to rallies and speak to different people and start to realise, like, wait a minute, there's something a bit, why is he so cozy with the He never questions the Jews. He works for Red and
Yeah,
Blue.
that's what's really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he surrounds himself by a bunch of freaking Jews. So it's
And
like,
it's
okay,
like,
he does good by calling out the Muzzies, but now he's also missing,
oh
like,
no,
basically,
it's
I
not
call the
just
Muslims like the right arm of the Jews, basically. That's kind of what I
it's not
think.
just that, Alan. Do you know what he does? He literally, the rallies when I go to, the last one I went to, he gets on stage. I've got him on camera. I can show you. He's literally he gets on stage and he goes with a megaphone on a 50-foot stage, going, "Are you angry?" And you need to remember, these people have had their children gang raped and murdered. These are the people that have travelled from all over Britain. Like, I'd travelled from Scotland. Um, these they had their lives affected. I went down. Like, the group that I was with was about promoting all paedophiles, like trying to expose the government for covering up, in the BBC. It's
Right.
stealth tax. Like, we all avoid the stealth tax. They send goons out to bully. You don't need to pay it. It's a myth that they say that they put this advert out years ago that this thing can detect if you're watching live TV, and it's to put propaganda in to say that white men are bad, that promiscuous sex is okay, that marriage is boring. And I'm like, I don't watch that, and I don't. I watch YouTube, I watch Netflix, I watch Amazon, but with Virgin it comes as a package. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you unplug that, that's okay. But they say, like, they act like by law, they say, oh, it's law, you have to let me in. But that's the first mistake. The only time that they say they get like 90% of convictions and 70% of them are female. The reason they get 90% of convictions is because it's people opening their mouths or letting them in, or it's vulnerable people they pick on. And the reason they go for women, I think 70%, it's obviously vulnerable women that are kind of scared or whatever, that don't have a man in the house, where a man would go to the door and be like, you're not the law, fuck off, basically, But like, I would be, Scottish people I know, like, I would just be like, who are you? I just wouldn't. I, I've watched all the advice videos. There's millions of advice things about the BBC. I mean, they've literally. I mean, even the Vatican removed the statue they've got on the front of their headquarters. The statue is a picture of a man holding a child, with a naked child in a sexual position, and it was carved by a man who is known to be having incestuous. He was incestuously raping his children and his nieces, and also animals. So after the Vatican found all this out, they covered and smashed all of his statues. The BBC refused to do so. The BBC also um, are largely from the Jewish community, or they've covered for a lot of paedophiles. Jimmy Savile being the biggest for us. I mean, you just need to look at the guy and you know he's a paedophile.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, how could people not? And he was literally like, I mean, talk about hiding in plain sight. He was literally telling you he was doing things with children. And then when he had his dead mother in the house for a week, he even cracked a joke about how, like, it was the best time because he could cuddle up and do things to her at night time. And, like, watching back at those clips, knowing that, like, he would go to children's homes, and, like, children's homes say we'd get a cigarette, but we'd have to, like, do sexual acts on him and things. And it was always vulnerable people, but that nobody would believe. And she'd say, but the thing is, sometimes people wouldn't come back from his boat trips, so we knew never to go on a boat trip with Jimmy. And he got knighted because apparently the whole thing goes that apparently the reason he got knighted was we don't know who, but a lot of us have been looking into trying to guess who it is. He was obviously, there was a paedophile ring exposed. There was an MP. There was about 3 MPs, like a whole bunch of the police cracked down on a whole bunch of these people at BBC, and high-ranking politicians, lawyers, everybody. After Jimmy, but they waited till Jimmy Savile died, and the
Mm.
they done was took down his grave. They knew this before. Do you know what I mean? They knew this for years.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
they covered it up. They waited till the man died. They let him die in dignity, and it is so annoying. And that's why people are like, we are not paying for that tax. We don't know. And so many people are like, look, like I saw a woman in a clip the other day saying, look, I'm a victim from paedophilia, childhood sexual abuse. I don't want that in my house. I've got young children in here, blah, 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 blah. And they try and bully you, but I just don't engage. See, if I hear them banging on the door, I just don't answer the door, because they legally, they get a commission. There's no right to enter your door. It is a frightening technique, and eventually they're gonna have to become like Amazon Prime, like Netflix. Like, no, you pay me and then you get the product. Not
Wait, so they're what are they banging on your door for? Because they're wanting you to pay for what? Did you say?
TV, just to watch four channels that I don't watch, that are all propaganda. BBC 1, 2, 3, and 4.
So that's from that's what they want to tax you for, right? So they want
Yeah,
taxpayers to pay for the news, which is
which is basically over $300 a year. And especially imagine like people that are like living on benefits and stuff, they can't afford that, you know. $300 a year, just over, probably about roughly about $300 a year. They'll be paying for just to watch four channels that nobody watches and that you can watch on YouTube for free. Like that George
wow.
that I sent. I don't know if I sent you it. It's an amazing George Galloway. He's a Scottish hero. He basically, what happened was there's Celtic and Rangers. There's a lot of sectarianism, and Rangers started flying Israel flags. Now you need to understand, Celtic and Rangers, we're all Scottish. Not one of us is Jewish. Not one of us is Palestinian.
Mm-hmm.
We do things to annoy each other. We are like, we've hated each other for years, because and we'll like a lot of things, like because my mother's Irish Catholic background, so they'll call me like, oh, like they'll say like, oh, Fenian bastard, blah blah blah, like, and they'll sing loyalist songs about killing of young Catholic kids, starving and stuff like that, and ha ha ha, and like they sing all these songs, but they like, and they'll actually even have an orange parade and everything. So like we sing things back to them, like, and then you've got like the Aya and Amen that stand up and sing songs back to them, and it's just crazy. But like then this new thing started, and it all started because of Tommy Robertson. Oh, what a surprise! Because so the British people, because they were like, oh, we're so patriotic. The Rangers fans, because they love the Queen and everything. And we used to sit like Celtic fans when I was younger. It was the songs like fuck, what was it? Fuck the Queen, fuck the Pope, fuck the Queen. And I can't remember. It was something about like the Queen and the Pope. Not very nice ones, but like it was just football. It's like it's a big part of the culture in Glasgow.
Yeah, it's huge over there, isn't it? Like it's it's
you to escape all the kind of things, and then like
yeah.
you'll go on and people like fight and stuff. It's like really good, but yeah, like they basically, like, long story short, what happened was they so that because of Tommy Robertson saying like, oh, how patriotic he was and how that he done all this stuff for British soldiers, he basically turned around and said, he was like, he would fly his Zionism flag, or sorry, the Star of David, and so then Celtic, in response, started flying Palestinian flags, saying, "Well, yous have wiped. They are not even Muslim, and most Palestinians aren't Muslim."
So they were just basically flying the Palestinian flags to troll the people
Yeah,
flying the Jude flags.
support. It's not no Celtic fan that I've ever met that has flown a Palestinian flag. I've personally never flown one. I love Celtic, but I just wouldn't fly one just because of my own personal experience with Muslims. But like, I do know that a large population of Palestinians are not Muslim. They just want the wars to stop.
Right.
From Mossad, that they're just against Mossad. I've actually met a bunch of them down in London. and they were there saying, "Listen, we just want the wars from Mossad to stop, please. They're killing our families."
Yeah.
We're in tears saying to this, and these were men like of soldiers' age. They had no reason to lie, and this woman, who was one of Tommy Robertson's, clearly like he has all these bodyguards. She ran up and she told me, "You can't be speaking to her." And was trying to grab me away with it, my camera. I was like, "I can speak to her I want." And I swapped my flag with his flag. She like, I had a British flag, and he had like I think it was a Palestinian. Yeah, it was Palestinian flag. I think it was a Palestinian flag. But it was like green and it said other rating, but it's like it was free Palestine, but it wasn't like the with the blood and all that kind of stuff. Like it was just because I've met those people, and he wasn't wearing anything fundamentalist. He was wearing normal clothes.
Mm-hmm.
You can just tell by the way he could talk clear English. And he was just he looked like a broken man. He said he'd lost his wife and his children. He said he's not even a Muslim. And she was like, "You've spoken for 2 minutes," and blah blah blah. She was really trying to get me away from Cameron. She started then shouting to all Tommy Robertson's fans who are like sheep, "They're against Mossad. They're against Mossad. That means they're bad. They're Jew haters. Get away. Look, she's talking to them. She's talking to them." But luckily, I have like 10,000 of my friends, like they all know me and know what kind of things I do, and we're like standing up and saying like, "Excuse me, actually, what you talking about, you Zionist shell? Tommy, if you want to debate, Lacy, right now, we'll do it. I mean, you're both about the same height. She's 5 foot. You're what, 5'2", maybe?" And Tommy was like, "Just shut it down, and everything." And he was like, "Look," and he basically, like, I don't know if he ordered over the thing or whatever, like to basically just leave it, stop causing a scene, because I think he was getting embarrassed because I was shouting with the megaphone and people were shouting at him that he was a Zionist shell and everything. Just admit it, just admit it.
So
And
what's the general consensus of, I guess, Scots that are, I don't know, like for instance, I follow that Count Dankula guy. He's the one
yeah,
that got his
oh,
pug to do the Nazi
yeah,
salute.
yeah. See Kevin Dankel, he lives very close to me. The thing is, I probably would have known him because he lives so close to me, but we run in very different circles because he admitted he was a commie before all this happened. Like he was a communist, he was a soy boy. He was like he was one of the people that you would see flying the Stalin flag, kind of like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he was a gamer, and like he's a really good guy, do you know what I mean? But he's a bit of an idiot, especially being friends with Sargon. Like, oh, that see watching Porcelain's documentary, and I was like, no, it was so embarrassing. He just says anything, like he just ruined UKIP. But I mean, Tommy Robertson being UKIP just killed it anyway. Like, but yeah, that's why I was so glad when the Brexit party came. I was like, oh, thank God. Like,
How wow. So if the UK decides to exit, like that's of course includes Scotland. Sorry, I'm like super ignorant kind of on
no,
this whole thing.
Scotland. Well, that's it. Well, we had the choice right there. I just voted right there, and I put it on my tweet. Like I posted my tweet. All of Scotland, we had the chance. We could have voted. Basically again for my old MP who can't even run. Or it's a phrase we say in Scotland. I don't know if you say it there. If you can't even run your own back garden, how are you meant to run a country? Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? And her, if you want to see the state of her back garden, just go in and Google Maps and look into Glasgow South and put in Pollock Shores, which is called, everyone calls it. Well, you can amend the Pollock and you can replace it with something that's like the beginning words of Pakistan, like something Shaw's, kind of like Burmistan. There's Burmistan, like Birmingham, which is all Muslims. I mean, there's a cognitive dissonance going on right now. You can see the breakdown in Britain already happening with this whole LGB feminist, um, the way like the trans and all this and all inclusive, where there's trans people getting beaten on the street. There was a lesbian couple like just last weekend in London.
Yeah, I
That
saw that.
was smashed in by Muslims.
And then they blame the who was it? They blamed somebody else for being racist or something.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the whole this only
Yeah,
happened
they play
because
a guy called I Hypocrite. He's amazing. He's really good, by the way. Because I Hypocrite says, guaranteed they're Asians, as they're called in the UK. And they said, they were like, they said, how dare you be so racist? And it's like, well, for 2% of the population, years ago that was taken, they made up 25% of the hate crimes on the LGBT community. Now think of the population now, because the birth rates, I mean, it is crazy, the birth rates. And all the ones that keep just, the doors are just like, basically it's a revolving door of them coming in.
do you
It
know
just,
the what are
it's,
the demographics right now of Glasgow?
oh, right, okay. The last that we done, we're doing a new census hopefully soon, but there's only one every like 7 years. The last one is 2011. But from 2009 to 2011, that's how crazy it is. Wait to hear the jump. Seriously, because I know that 2011 went off by heart, but I can't remember the 2009. But it's just, see, when you hear the jump, it really is scary. Um, Basically, and the things you need to take into consideration for a census is, first of all, it's voluntary. So the first thing is, if someone chaps at your door, you don't have to answer it. So you might not be home. The second thing is, you can answer the door and say, no, I don't need to take it. I don't want to take it. Thank you. Bye. The third thing is, they could be illegal, so of course they're not going to answer it. They're going to be like, no, bye. And then the fourth thing is, they could basically just be lying about how many people staying in there because they don't want people that like they have that are illegal. And then again, the last thing to take into consideration is that it was 2011, and look at this jump from 2009 to 2011. And I think it's weird that because of the jump, they stopped doing it. Right, wait, Glasgow.
I'm just fascinated by this. So you live in like a very dense Muslim area, huh?
Yeah. Well,
Oh my gosh. Do you have like any friends there that are Scottish? Like how many people do you know that are still there? That
uh,
can live in a place like that? Like I mean, I
you
get
can't, like I don't actually live in the Glasgow South anymore. I had to do a white flight. I know it's so cheesy, being called white flight, but like I had to
no,
move.
it's a real thing.
Yeah, no, it really is. Everybody did it. It is now a no go zone. The government still refuses to say there's no go zones, but that's a lie. I guarantee you, get any of them to walk through it. I dare them to. I dare them to. But they won't.
Jeez.
They won't. They don't show you the cameras. They don't show you what it's like. They don't show you the market stalls. They don't show you that it's all, like headwear and like just all that kind of stuff, and like chickens hanging up, and just you look like you're in Saudi Arabia. It's just crazy, right? The government, right? Here we go, right? Um, uh,
I'm also like I want to know, I had no idea that they actually had implemented Sharia law in
yeah.
Scotland.
Oh,
Is it only in like Glasgow?
do you know what they call it? They call it. It's so funny. They hold it in the mosque, and they call it Sharia community. And they say, when they ask you about it, but I've read the Quran, right? And what they're allowed to lie to an infidel, because it says, because the difference between the Bible, which I'm a Christian myself, um I don't know about yourself, but in the Bible, Jesus did not talk about politics. He did not, like, no matter what they say about hateful speech, hateful blah 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 blah. They pull a lot of that from the Old Testament.
Right.
If they wanted to pull hate speech, that's from the Old Testament. Jesus came along and he was kind of like, if you're looking at, you don't want to talk religion, things like that, then you just think, well, he was just kind of like a hippie that just wanted everyone to love everybody. Yes, he got a bit angry when he saw people like using money and doing usury and stuff, and he thought
Mm-hmm.
that's no, and he got his whip out. But he didn't hurt. He just set the cattle free because he didn't think humans should be treated like cattle. I wonder who does. Right, wait a minute, 2 seconds.
You you're actually really Jew woke. How did you get woke on the JQ?
My daddy. Like, no, seriously, guys.
Power to the dad. Seriously, like
I
my dad
know.
used to tell me this stuff when I was a kid, you
Yeah,
know?
but since I was a child, seriously, and my dad was an American from Texas, and then we were all lied to and told there was weapons of mass destruction. And Britain didn't want. My dad was in Britain at the time, and we didn't want. We knew, we were like, what is going on? Like, we don't really need to be fighting this war. Blah blah blah. But by that point, my dad had been deployed to Iraq. He came back. He was like, no, it was all the Jews. It was the Jews, and they struck him off immediately. Said that he was mentally ill. He had post-traumatic stress. I got
That's
taken.
what they do. That's what they do. You're mentally ill.
Yeah. Tried to put him on medication, Jew medication. No, I was joking. Jew. Well, it seems to be a lot of them do own medication. Right. Okay. Scotland's Muslim population in 2001 represented just 0.9 of the population, so 42,557 within 30,000, and out of 42,500, 30,000 of them were in Glasgow. By 2011, the Muslim population had increased to 79,773, accounting for 1.4 of Scotland's population, nearly all in Glasgow.
That's insane. I wonder why they chose that city. Like,
they chose it because, like I said, they managed to make a deal with the devil, the future Prime Minister, and she went round, promised them, and she kept her promise. And this is her face. If you want to see the face of the Antichrist, look at it right there.
Scotland's.
I've met her. I told her about the fact my friend got gang raped and now is dead because of drugs. I told her about Chris Donald being tortured and murdered, which she knew about. She knew about everything, and then she went round and sold it all out so that she could become this Prime Minister. And even now, like, people like, even the Scottish National Party, which is about gaining independence, said, do you know what? We don't want independence if it means we're going to be still part of the EU. You can go back yourself, and we'll fight that fight another day. Right now, our fight's with EU. And I mean, seriously, this is just something I know this is probably nothing to you, like in America, but this really shocks me. Like,
no, I've been following Europe pretty closely. Well, as close as I can, I guess, for the last couple of years. I read Douglas Murray's book, The Strange Death of Europe.
Yeah, Douglas Murray's amazing.
He's great. His book was like so eye-opening for me.
Yeah,
I've been trying to follow what's happening in Europe.
Brilliant. Like, oh well, I can tell you everything in Europe, but like, I mean, this was in Scotland, but the part that I've moved to is where all the white people are. There is still. I mean, today I saw a lady in a hijab, not a burqa, and then there's all the local Pakistani shops, korma shops, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, this was okay. So this was the front page, and then my local chemist, and it's Scottish, from the Scottish Council that I'm from. On the front page, as you can see, there's only 2 white females, not a white male, because of course they're the devil. Then you open it up, you think, okay,
they're probably siblings too.
Yeah, well, they're twins, yeah.
They look like twins.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't see black boys. Like, we don't have, I know this is weird, but in Glasgow, it's Muslims. We don't have black people. It's not that we don't like black people or anything like that. They don't live here. There's black people in Edinburgh. They seem to move to Edinburgh more. I don't know why. But I mean, then yeah, you open the next one, and then that's Scotland.
Wow, look at the Scottish people.
Yeah, I know, they look very Scottish, don't they? Like, you can tell.
Oh my god!
And then the next bit, of course. Oh yeah, we can't forget the single mother with her child, because you can't have a father, because that's terrible. And this is all for information and support, and it's young minds, and then it tells you, like, I don't want to dox myself, but yeah, it's like, I mean, I'd never seen anything like this. Like, I was like, what is going on? Like, it's not even subversive anymore. It's in your face. And I was saying to you just before, like, we went on, like, there was a program on, like, remember Desmond and Maisman? There was one
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I crave that. Like, I really think, like, maybe, tiny bit of fascism wouldn't be so bad because there would only be one Desmond Amazement in my mind.
Right.
Um,
Well,
but
there's a guy in my
oh, sorry, we're going. Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. The thing is skipping. There's actually Jonathan Pohl in my chat, and he has this thing where he likes to say, I'm a blue-pilled normie. And it's pretty much like we're all normal people. But the
Yeah.
thing is, we've been so subverted that it's like culture has changed, but a lot of people haven't. Now, there are some people who are changing with the culture and going along with this stuff like it's normal, but this shit is not normal. So it's
No.
now like you need to pretty much deprogram people, because the people that are thinking like Desmond is like normal and that gays should be
Yeah.
walking around is normal. Like,
And
no.
disgusting things. Like, there's nothing prideful. I watched a really based guy, and it was actually a non-partisan YouTube thing.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't right wingers, they weren't left wingers, and they were basically talking about the gay and straight pride parade. And they had this guy who looked kind of like a Jesus hippie, like, and he said he's not a hippie. He said he just looked people compared that he had long hair, but he said that at his school right now, it was only on YouTube like 2 days ago, and he basically said that at his school, his niece, sorry, was in. He was wearing. You could tell like he had like a good body. He looked after himself. He was quite spiritual and all this kind of stuff. You could tell he was a bit of a like maybe he was a vegan. I don't know, but he seemed very based. Like he turned around and he said that at his school there seems to be some sort of an agenda because all of a sudden to be cool and to be accepted, his niece, like I was saying, she is actually part of the what is it? You know how like you get the cheerleaders, but then there's that dorkier one. What's the other one called? Um, like it's some kind of band, like not the proper like. She was some kind of like not a cheerleader, but she done something like that in an American high school. Um, I think they dress up in a different way and they're not as cool as the cheerleaders in the hierarchy rank. But I know they still do like American soccer, football, whatever. Like, they're just the girls. But every single female there, apart from her, identified as queer, like or like lesbian or gay or something, anything but straight. But she had a crush on her high school teacher who was young, and she felt really ashamed about it. And she actually went and told her uncle and says, I'm so ashamed. And she was crying, saying that she was straight. And it's messing with children's minds. So, like, he's now an activist speaking out against this, saying, listen, he said, he said, there's nothing to be proud about to being gay. He said, but that doesn't mean there's anything to be ashamed about. I just mean there's nothing to be proud about being gay. It's or straight. It's the person you are in general. He said because you can get a gay person that's very bad, like Jeffrey Dahmer, or like, and he listed off a bunch of people like to her, like when he was giving another talk. He was saying it's you need to make yourself the best you. And he said then within a month she came back with a girlfriend and said, "Guess what? I'm gay." And I mean that is just crazy to me. And this is
Yeah.
happening in America right now.
Well,
Like,
it is happening here over, in fact, in California, because like I've been
that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was where the gay pride parade was.
it's sick, man. Like, so in America, well, they've already passed it in Canada, and you've probably heard of Jordan Peterson, right?
Oh yeah, how could I not have? Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
they'll do straight out the school out of Frankfurt from my friend medicine man.
Well, I started like one of the big reasons I kind of jumped, like I heard him back in 2016, and like he was just resonating with me with this whole freedom of speech, and he was recognizing what was happening in Canada with the SB. I'm sorry.
I really loved him when I first got into
Yeah,
that.
when I first heard him, I was like, "Oh wow, like finally somebody's out there speaking the truth about this shit." And yeah. Well, his thing was he was noticing trying to police your speech, and that's one of the biggest reasons I kind of attached onto him. or attached to him. And then in California, they're actually trying to do the same thing. So basically, anybody that's gay or bisexual, transsexual, whatever the hell, like name your freaking pick.
Agenda. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
the gay agenda, the trans agenda, the feminist agenda. I
yeah.
mean, I heard all this from David Icke, and it's a funny day. Like, I would never have thought in my lifetime, because my mother always said she knew David Icke before he went insane. And I'm like, Mum, you do know now David Icke is the voice of reason. She's like, oh, I know. And that is when you know you're living in a upside down world.
Oh
Because,
yeah,
like,
we're in clown world. This is
yeah,
clown world.
yeah, oh, 100%. I mean, the fact on YouTube you can't even say HH, like, oh, oh. I mean,
Yeah.
like, you can't point out that we live in that world because that's hateful. And of course, we wouldn't want to do that. We wouldn't point it out, you know. Luckily, like, we kind of fly under the radar because we don't have, it's like over like 12 million subscribers, so like maybe they won't notice like Crowder, like, which cries his thing. But I mean, he's so milk toast anyway. Like, I mean, he might as well be called kosher with Crowder. Like, really, like, but yeah, the
Did you
whole
say kosher with Crowder? Talk about
yeah,
Steven Crowder.
yeah, kosher with Crowder.
That's hilarious. No, that's what like I've kind of noticed. Like when I first I guess my eyes were open. Not even gonna lie, the first people I listened to were Milo, which I actually do still like Milo. I don't care what
Yeah.
anybody says. So I
Well,
listened to Milo.
it was because he was British was the same for me because he was the one in Britain that kind of, and then Stephen Crowder kind of started listening to.
Yeah.
But now when I look back at him, I'm like, how could I have thought that was funny? Like,
Yeah. Well, they're not calling out the problems. Like I guess
no,
the first thing I noticed, like, okay, they're going to colleges and basically owning a bunch of college kids, like
yeah,
big freaking deal.
oh,
But they're not
yeah,
calling out the real freaking problem. And it's like, okay, you guys are just boring. Nobody wants to name the fucking Jew, basically.
no,
And
exactly. Name the fucking Jew. Name the fucking Jew.
name the fucking
The
Jew.
Jew.
Yes.
Do you know in Germany you can go to prison if you even
Yes.
fucking question the number? I mean,
Yes.
like I watched an interview with one of Hitler's maids. He obviously had like plenty of maids, and she said she was so very well fed. The interviewer was so trying to get her to say she regretted being, like, she was saying, if you could go back and speak to 20-year-old blah blah, her name, I can't remember her name, what would you say to her before she took the job? And she kept trying to get her to, she was like trying to lead her into saying, don't take the job. And she was saying, I don't know, I wouldn't say anything. There was some kind of, like, this is translating to German, she's saying you get some, I had certain respects, I was naive, there was things I didn't agree with what the Fuhrer was doing, but at the same time I was treated like a princess. I had never been treated like that before. And she had like a thing from Hitler, like a plaque that she was leaving to her grandchildren, and she had like things like that. But like, I mean, again, like, it's kind of weird how something that happened 70 years ago, that in every single, if you think about all the genocides, really, I mean, the hologram, what happened in Russia, that was 60 million.
Right. Yeah.
Genocide, like Stalin, why is there no Hollywood films all about them? It's all because it's not about them.
Yeah.
And who makes all the films? But there's a billion films about black people. You need to remember, you all were slaves. Where's all the films about the Irish people being slaves?
Yeah.
Because we're slaves as well. And I've
And
been
Chinese too.
Sorry? Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, but you don't understand. Like, black people are still slaves, by the way, by Muslims. But again, that cognitive dissonance there. Like, they think, oh no, we're all.
Well, here's kind of what happened, and it was I believe it was the NAACP, which was actually started by Jews. So it's the National African American
Yeah.
whatever, but it was started by Jews and ran by Jews up until Martin Luther King Jr. And then that's when blacks kind of started taking it, but it was still pretty much being directed by a bunch of freaking Jews. So what happened is, like, I think it was like, what, 40% of Jews were slaveholders before our Civil War. And then I think it was less than 2% of Anglo-Americans at that time even owned Jews. So, whites get
Oh,
blamed for it, of course, and then it just
I,
keep on with it. Like, so basically, Jews are very, very good at what is it, like, getting people to feel sorry for them. And I believe that a lot of the Holocaust, like, they play that card so freaking
oh,
hard.
it's
Like,
so.
feel bad for me, my Holocaust.
I watched. I watched Revenge of the Sis a lot because I think they're really
Yeah,
funny.
I like those guys. Yeah,
They're absolutely amazing. I
they're
follow them.
hilarious.
They are so good. Shout out to Revenge of the Sis because I'll get them to watch this because I tweet them like they take like so I'll message them and say watch this video like so like shout out to Royce and to Mersh but they're just amazing but like definitely like but yeah they kind of get away with saying things without saying it like the other day they'll say things like yeah one of them happened one of them didn't and they quickly jump down and he was in hysterics laughing like when they were talking about the Sandy Hook shooting in the Holocaust. But he was like, I'm just sick of this because they went to DLive because they got their livelihoods taken away from them because of the whole Vox apocalypse and everything.
Oh
But
yeah.
they got their Streamlabs back eventually, which was okay. But I mean, it's still like people can become patrons and stuff, but people get really affected, which is bad. But I mean, the thing about it is like nobody wants to name the Jew. No, it's like it's too hard. Like people right now, they can see what's in front of them. Like I've had like Antifa spit at me, attack me. Antifa, you need to understand, are more militant in the Europe. They've been around longer. They are dangerous. They are psychotic. I mean, you must have seen the videos of the migrants running through, just raping, like like in Rotterdam.
The
See,
Rotterdam scandal. I remember hearing about that too. Yeah.
but that is nothing. I mean, see if you look at all of the places in Britain, there's been hundreds of thousands, and Glasgow has not yet been exposed. The reason it has not yet been exposed, it will, obviously it will, but right now it hasn't been exposed because Nicola Sturgeon is still the Prime Minister. But it will be exposed because that's what we've been working to get exposed. And the BBC, not one person wants to pay a penny to it because we're like, no, you covered up for paedophiles and we know who runs it. And we don't like them. And Scottish people do not like being told what to do, never by the English, and especially not by Jews. I don't care if it's English, if it's by Jews, if any, by Muslims, who it is. You just come in and tell Scottish people what to do, and it could be a black Scottish person, and it doesn't matter what race you're. It's our culture. If you're Scottish, we're like, no, you're not. We want to live our life. No, go away. You're not doing that to us because I will punch you in the face. Simple. And like it's just English seem a lot more cucked. That's
Yeah. Well, they've given up their city. They have a Muslim mayor. They've banned knives.
that would never happen up here. That would just never happen. I'm so sorry. We like in
Don't be
Scotland.
sorry. Be proud. You're not going to give it up.
Yeah, oh, no,
You
I'm
guys,
not.
what are you so in Scotland, are there gun laws, or like what's the deal with like,
Gun.
so we have the Second Amendment, of course. So what do you guys have?
We don't have a bill of rights. It's still a police state. Basically, the police abuse their powers, especially in Glasgow. You can go to for prison for offensive tweets, not jail prison. You can go to prison if you offend somebody, and they can just lie and say you offended them. When they weren't really offended, if that makes sense. It's really stupid. Most of the time,
So you guys have no freedom of speech. You don't have any type of laws to say like you're allowed to have weapons in order to protect yourself.
we no. Well, they tried to do this big thing that said only cowards carry knives, and the Scottish people reacted the same way when they killed William Wallace. What they done when they killed William Wallace was, they how the hung, drawn, and quartered, and then
Right.
he sent his body parts to all the clans to try and scare the Scottish people. It worked the opposite way, made us more angry. So when they said only cowards carry knives, the Scottish people were like, oh, really? Aye. So I'm meant to just lie there and get raped? I don't think so. So more people started carrying knives. Females especially, and a lot of females like, I, I'm single at the moment, so I don't go out after a certain time alone. It just wouldn't be safe, and I wouldn't put myself in that position. I don't go out drinking unless I'm with a bunch of friends that I trust. and I know are going to drive me home, and I wouldn't. I'm even scared to get a lot of people drink in the house now. I mean, it's a sad state to live like that, but because of my financial situation, I don't want to. I would also feel like I wouldn't want to go to the Highlands because I'd feel like, well, they're going to move up here. The problem's just going to follow me.
Mm-hmm.
It has been creeping up, trust me, and it's been creeping east as well. It's been creeping everywhere, and I'm like, and I'm not moving to England because they're cocked, and I hate them, and and Ireland is fucked, and getting raped and everything, and Northern Ireland, no, just no. My family would never forgive me. My mum said it's just they'd be like, no, just who?
Wow.
But yeah,
So,
but I've got
whoa.
a American passport, but I'm basically riding out, kind of like with YouTube. I'm riding the bikes till the bike wheels fall off. Like I want to stay here and do as much as my acts and expose as much of the white paedophiles that are they call themselves white, but we know what they are. They're not white. It's the only tribe that seems to change their last name a lot to Anglo-Saxon names, and they have a certain kind of Semitic face.
Right. Right.
George type people, those ones.
Wow.
And with
This
Scotland.
like it, it's oh my god, like I'm kind of speechless. But if it's crazy to see how this is done. It's like all these major cities. Is it pretty much the major cities? Would you say that? Like
Yeah, all cities,
so
all
basically they bring in a bunch of muzzies, they incorporate them
yeah.
purposely and
But
subversively and
so there's white, or it doesn't matter if you're white, black, but it's mostly white because Scotland is mostly white. That's just the truth.
yeah.
Scotland is a white country.
I
It's
didn't know
all
Scots were like real Scottish people were anything other
yeah,
than light skinned and like red hair and
yeah. Like it's either like you're either really like I mean I've got a Glasgow tan. Everyone calls it. It's basically we go to the sunbeds. So like because we get like 2 months of summer for lucky, but then so we go to the sunbeds all the time and things like that. But everyone calls it a Glasgow tan. But a lot of the Scottish people are fair haired. Or they're like I dye my hair, but when I was younger it was like bottle blonde. It's like an ashy blonde now, so I just dye it. I'm like that's getting dyed, or like redheaded, um, or brown hair, blue eyes. I've got green eyes, but yeah. Now the places that get affected. It's never middle class areas.
right. It's only the cities. Well, it's
It's
weird
all
because like the cities, they'll incorporate them or they'll literally purposely put them in these cities. They
yeah
have a
they
bunch of
do.
children and then they start to branch out. Like so I know London is over 50% Muslim now. Like
Yes, yeah.
the true Londoners are 100% the minority. So now it's like the cities are being overtaken, then it's going to start to branch out. And it's like what are we
And
gonna do? Like, what are people gonna fucking do, man? Like, somebody, like,
even I even tweeted
and
even if we get Brexit, which we did now, we've got Brexit now, right? And I said at this point, but this is before I'd broken. I was feeling a bit black pilled, and I was like, and I'd done this tweet, and I said, do you know what? Even if we get Brexit, what is the point? I said, basically, we're like somebody that's been shot 5 times in the head, and it's like, don't worry, I'm still gonna make it. I promise. Just don't let go. Promise you won't let go. And you're just lying to them, to make them feel better. And that's how it breaks. It's kind of like because even if they even if they were to shoot all the migrant boats instead of just welcome them on you come, don't worry. Oh, watch yourself, watch you don't ruin your brand new shoes, all army sized men with no kids or children. On you come onto our land. We'll give you welfare, we'll give you a house, and we'll make all the white Scottish people homeless and all the other race of Scottish people that will lived here and paid taxes their whole life, and they bring them on safely. And there's just no border control. I mean, they literally found like they catch. I think it's 1 out of every 5. They say it's 1 out of every 5, but I don't even believe that it's that because I met when I was doing in London a guy from Romania and asked him how he got over, and he says, "Oh, I got over in the back of a van." But he was being serious, but he didn't say it in that accent. He said it in a Romanian accent. But they say they catch 1 out of every 5 van with humans that have humans in it. And
Holy shit. There was actually there was a story here in the US, I forget, maybe it was Texas. Or no. Where was it? I think it was the Mexican. Maybe it was in Mexico, but they caught like 5 tractor trailer, like the 18-wheeler. They
yeah,
caught like 5 of
that's
them full.
like
There was almost 800 illegals packed in these freaking semi trucks.
disgusting. Like, see what's happening in America. It's disgusting because I just think, to me, like, I've always looked to America like, wow, like, that's where my sister and my brother-in-law both live there. She's married to an American from Tennessee, and my brother-in-law's family all live there, which I love them all. They're all amazing. Um, they're all Trump fans. They're conservative. They're totally cool people. Like, I don't know what they think about the. I don't know if they support Israel or anything like that. Like, that, this whole Israel is our greatest ally thing, that has been very new to me, and it's kind of pissed the Scottish people off a lot that have lost people in the wars that we were told to fight for. Because we're like, wait, no, I thought we were your greatest ally, cunt. In Scotland, by the way, we use cunt a lot. Like, alright, cunt, oh, you're cunt, what are you talking about? I thought you said we were your greatest ally. No, Israel's your greatest ally. That's kind of like saying, somebody that does nothing for you but you pay for it. Like, you're basically saying a prostitute's your best ally when we've actually done things for you. We loved you. We trusted you. But what? You killed us. What have you done, you lying bastards? And
Yeah.
Trump, I mean, have you seen that picture? And it's
The
like,
one in Israel, the Golan Heights.
oh, I want to get
Yeah.
smash it done. It makes me so angry.
This is what's really strange to me, and because like I'm Christian as well, and like once you start understanding the religion of Jewish people, then you start
They
they
warn
understand this stuff is
people,
being
warn you. They warn you in the Bible, and
yes, yes. That's what's so crazy is like people need to understand what these Jews actually believe. Like they believe the Messiah is coming, and then it's like everything just seems so ramped up, and now Trump's doing all this stuff for Israel. Like he's literally helping them more than his own freaking country. And like
yeah,
I like Trump. I was like a huge Trump fan, and then I saw like, well, fuck, now he's not doing anything for us either. He's instead, but he'll help his
I
great
was
friend Israel.
same. I was exactly the same. That's why I hate Tommy Robinson and all that, because he's like, oh, Trump, 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 and I'm like, but Nick Fuentes, so, like, I don't agree with like everything he says about the whole kind of like just white race kind of thing, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
the whole like the right race thing is like
I
you
think,
got to give me something more than just that.
yeah, but like he done a great video, a really good video, and it was like, he does some really good Israel videos that I love to watch, and he done one in it. He says it was MAGA, and then it was MEGA, like make Israel great again.
Yeah.
And he had it on a chalkboard, and he says like make America great again. And he done one thing that Trump had done that was like the tax cut thing,
Oh
and
yeah.
the list was literally down to the, honestly, he said, this is not just a wish list, guys and girls. This is everything you could want and more. They get like £4 billion a year. They got to get everything, like they'd literally got every single thing they could have asked for and more. And then Trump done a tweet after they'd got every single thing they could have asked for and ever even dreamed of. Remember when one of the Jewish guys, one of the presidents or whatever, tried to do it to Obama, and Obama just mad dogged him like that. Like, it kind of makes me miss Obama. I know
Isn't
that.
that strange? Like it's
But see,
almost like the lesser of two evils, right?
yeah, exactly, because at least Obama hated like Israel,
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that's bad to say, but it was true. Like, he was never going to
Yeah. But
Israel.
he was friendly with the damn muzzies. And like I just
Exactly.
want somebody that's going to be pro America. Like
Yeah,
that's it. Just be
that,
pro
well,
American.
that's what
Shut the
I thought as
fucking
well.
borders down. Shut the borders down. Stop making me
Can't do it. You can't do it because you'll end up like us. Great Britain. All you need to look to is look to Britain, look to Europe, look to the state of what's happened to the countries, and you'll see, and you'll think to yourself, okay, we're like only a few years behind them because of your size difference. But please believe
right. Yeah.
we will end up this way because the birth rate is incredible, and you need to remember by Sharia law they are allowed, and they have Sharia law in Birmingham, and also, and I've had them in conversations and Discord that where they admit, yeah, we've got it from Sharia community, people have heard me. I've put it on YouTube and things like that, blah, blah, blah. And they'll talk about it and they'll be like, yeah, well, if you didn't dress so, if you didn't dress like a who, you wouldn't attract people like that. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
well,
So they're putting the blame on you.
yeah, exactly. And this is like me, but also they were blaming the 11-year-old girl that got raped out of one of the 14,000 in Rotterdam. And I was like, well, she was 11. And he was like, yeah, but if you dress a certain way, how do you know the child's 11? And I was like, you just said child, so clearly you would know she's 11. You must know the
Mm.
difference right and wrong. And he was like, well, if they're going to dress that way, then they're clearly asking her. And some 11-year-olds do look older. I was like, oh, you're sick. I just couldn't. It's just disgusting. But yeah, like Trump, I was so for Trump. I thought he was for pro
A
speech.
lot of us were, a lot of Americans were. And now it's like only here's the problem in like my country. The Christians in this country have completely cut. Like they have no idea what the hell is going on with Israel. There's so many pro-Zionist Christians, and
Yes,
that's actually like one of the biggest freaking problems. And I just wish Christians would read the Bible again and understand that the Jews are no longer God's chosen people and they need to give up this whole Israel fantasy thing. It's
I was on this guy's channel, Dusty Wogan, and he's a Christian Zionist from Australia, and he basically was like talking about saying like he was saying, oh dude, so you're basically one of Abraham's, because like we were all just trolling him in the chat, like basically saying you Christian Zionist shill, like blah blah blah, and like just doing Jew, like see just like just doing shill, and then three just being trolls, and like it's
yeah.
just reports. And then basically he was like sitting, he was going, he was talking on about like he's a good guy, but get it. He just does. He's not got the kind of brain capacity to understand that it is dangerous. Like he believes his interpretation of the Bible and Christian Zionism is that Abraham chose them, but then like was it is it not something and that they're God's chosen people and they're special and that they're this and
Deuteronomy 7, 8, 9, 10. Like it's
yeah
all in their Torah, and this is what they actually believe. And I keep
yeah
saying it. Like one of my favorite things to say is what would you do if you truly believed you were God's chosen people? Like what lengths would you go to make sure that God's chosen people are safe and sound
well,
and
you'd go any length, you'd go
any
any
length, any freaking length, then this is what people need to understand,
and
you
do
know?
see the red ice thing. And again, I don't agree with everything the red ice say, but I like what they promote about the Christian values, having families, the protecting the right races. They're not against other races. They're not like separation and all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like night or 1488 or any of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're
Well,
just
that's the other problem is well, America is now an empire. We're no longer a we're not like we're a democracy, but we were meant to be a republic, and we're not
you're not in a
we're an
republic.
empire.
Yeah, yeah, you are 100%. Because
It's
we're
sad.
yeah, it breaks my heart watching it because I was like, I loved him. Like I said, I mean, I can't wait to move to it because my plan all along is I'll ride this to and do my thing until it kind of I can't take it anymore or my life's in real danger, and it has been. I mean, I've been in some bad situations, but then I'll go and my sister lives in America in a nice secluded place. I'll go stay with her for a bit and then till I get a job and then find my own place. And she said I could stay in like she's got a spare bedroom and stuff with her and her husband, so that'd be cool. And but yeah, like it just makes me so sad because it's the culture. It was like it literally was lost by the culture, and the culture. I don't know if you've seen this guy Yuri Bezmenov,
Yeah,
who's
I've heard. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, like how to subvert a nation.
Mm-hmm.
Take God, the morals, and it takes years, and then the God, family, nation. That's why it's so important to have those. And I mean, and also, I mean, why have we not been? Why has nobody ever looked into what happened to the Notre Dame burning down? I mean, we're not even allowed to ask questions about it.
No, nope. Instead, they want to put like homo flags on it and make it a
Yeah.
greenhouse.
Oh,
And
do you not understand who the two people that have gave money to, that are donating money to it? It's not the Pope or anybody, of course. It happens to be two Jewish men.
mm.
They're always close by. I'll tell you, these Jews. These,
Always close by doing
they're
some.
Yeah, I know. I mean, even when 9/11 was happening, how crazy was it? There just happened to be five dancing Jews, right? Filming. Right. I mean, there was just standing right, filming the building burning down. They're always somewhere. These Jews.
Oh
These
yeah, they're out like they're hold up lighters after 9/11 happened, and apparently there were like
high class.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I'm sure you probably heard about the USS Liberty
Yep.
that was attacked. It was a secret spy ship, the US Navy spy ship, and then Israelis flew around it for like 2 hours in the morning and were waving at the sailors on the ship and saw the American flag, saw the name and the number on the ship, knew it was Americans, and then they eventually attacked, dropped napalm balls, and were loading it up with bullets. I forget how many died and how many were injured. Horrible, absolutely horrible. And they blamed it on the Egyptians, and they tried to destroy everything. Like they were,
A flag victory is disgusting. Like,
yeah,
well, like I said, like if this, I mean, say I was a conspiracy theorist, and I'm not saying that because I don't want kicked off YouTube and I don't want your channel kicked off. Say if I was, and if I was some crazy person like Alex Jones, who's totally crazy by the way, and I'm not a fan at all.
yeah, he's insane.
Yeah, but like say like I was to be like, oh, that Israel obviously knew about, like Mossad obviously knew about that, and like I mean even the New Zealand shooting. I mean clearly that if this guy was a white supremacist, let's just say this. I mean we can have this conversation at least. We all know white supremacists hate Jews. That's just a fact. They hate Jews. Like if you're a neo-Nazi, you hate Jews and want them dead.
Mm-hmm.
That is like the usual quota of a neo-Nazi or whatever, like a skinhead, like the way he was making himself out to be in his thing. Not one mention of the Jews. I read that full manifesto. I have his manifesto. I have read it all. All it talks about was the Muslims. He lists off every single case from the UK. He lists off every case from like rapes that happened in Scotland. He rapes those capes in the most obscure places. This guy had no money, no job. He lived in Australia. He travelled for 2 years with money they can't trace. He went to again the most obscure countries. He went the he went to Paris. That's where he said he got radicalized. He spent 7 months twice in Israel. Now, I don't know if you saw the video.
Yeah, I did.
Somebody sent it to me, and I swear, when I first saw it on Facebook and someone sent it to me, I thought it was like a video game. I was like, wow, they've made video games really good. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until, the end when the woman's screaming for her life, I was like, okay, this is real. What am I watching? And then I saw like all the news that it was real and all over like YouTube and everything. And I was like, okay, I better not have this on my phone. Delete. But yeah.
It's interesting when people like that absolutely hate the Muslims and never mention the Jews. Like,
Well, this is what I'm saying. He did not mention the Jews, not once. Okay, in his full manifesto, not once. And he literally, the way he shot, that is not somebody that's unemployed and that is untrained.
right?
Who
Yeah,
fund who funded him? That he was a Mossad agent. I'm telling you.
probably. I
I
wouldn't doubt it.
I can guarantee. I can tell. I'm telling you. I would bet if I was a betting person. I would bet. I've not got much to bet, but I'm telling you, I would bet like 2 years' wages that maybe even 30 years' wages, and they'd have to give me 30 years of their wages to anybody out there that didn't say he wasn't a Mossad agent or some kind of government agent.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, the training he had, you saw that guy running, boom, 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 going back, making sure headshot each time, headshot, 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 headshot. So calm. As he comes out, he opens it, you see all the ammo, the light flame, and he just calmly comes out, drives off, reverses over the woman, like after he's shot her, drives over and then reverses back, then turns around, and then he goes, well, that didn't go quite as planned. I meant to burn the place down. Like, and then can you imagine, like, before that goes off, like, you accidentally bumped into that guy? Like,
Yeah.
imagine, like, you'd be, like, just blasted. Like, he was, imagine, like, driving beside that psycho, like, and you're like, I don't think he would have shot you, though, like, because we're white, so he'd be like, you guys are okay, you're not one of them, you're not part of it. But apparently, I've got a friend in New Zealand who I was talking about, Medicine Man, who's very clued up on the JQ. And it's very strange because, like I said, he's from New Zealand, and it's kind of like they are very cocked right now. But because he was brought up Orthodox Catholic, and his family, like he just has always been very clued up in the Jew. I don't know who taught him, but he just has always known. He's not like he knows a lot about the stuff. He's read a lot of books and things. But he was basically telling me, like, he's always telling me good things, and he was saying that, yeah, like, what was that? What was the point I was trying to see? What I mean, see that way when you get brain freeze, you're like, oh. The like, oh, what was that? How did I start that sentence? Sorry, that sounds really stupid to me. I was just like, I've just, you know, that way you start a sentence.
I know. I
I was
know.
like, what was I talking about? Because I was started talking about what Medicine Man was telling me about something about. I can't remember. It'll come back to me in a second.
No, it's okay. We'll come back to you. But don't you I mean you're probably the same page as me with this, but don't you think it's interesting that everybody always looks to the cause of something, like, but they never look at the symptom? Like,
Yes,
or they don't look at the cause of why, I guess, reactions from people. Like, it's like, well, it came out of nowhere, It's like, for one
that,
day Hitler was
that's
voted into power for no reason at all.
yeah, yeah. Well, that was it. I mean, that they were talking about that in Revenge of the Sith, which again, I mentioned them again. I will shelf for them any day. I think they're amazing.
Yeah, they're funny guys.
They're hysterical. They're so funny. But yeah, like they literally had on, like, they were talking about they said they were they show you this thing called Queer Kids, and it's this Jewish lady who's, like, obviously a butch lesbian, brave and beautiful, and she teaches children about queer stuff, and she's got a puppet and the puppet's like, what are we going to learn about today, Miss Whatever, and Miss Butch Lesbian, and the lesbian teacher's like, we're going to learn this beaver. No, I don't think it's named beaver. I'm joking. A puppet. I can't remember what she calls it. And but it's like all multicolored. It's like queer kids stuff, and then a rainbow. But they had a tranny, a transvestite, a man in a wig.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a drag queen come and read to the child. The child was the puppet, and it was drag time for kids story time, and the story was, it was so funny because they kept pausing it and talking over it, and they basically, sorry, Revenge of the Sith, if you're watching, I'm totally, like, telling your story about your clip, but, like, they basically play the clip, and the book, they open the book, and it was like, at the start of the book, they said that there was a place called never something land, like, never every was it everybody land or something like that, and this duck, and they showed you a duck and a duck and a chicken together, and they'd tried to get into this land, and they said, you're not allowed in this land, you don't belong here, you need to stay out and go to your own place. And so they paused it and they're like, well, that's the problem. if the duck and the chicken didn't try to keep getting to other people's places, then maybe people wouldn't be so annoyed at them. And they kept getting more and more annoyed. And then they were playing it again, and like then it was like they were going through it, and they were saying about how like they kept putting pressure on them until finally they made everybody's land. And then they were like, so then he goes, and Mersh was just sitting there going, and Royce was like, Mersh, and he was like, I'm just listening to, I can just hear some music in my head right now, because of out of nowhere, he said, I've got a new ending for you, because I'm so mad. And the new ending should be out of nowhere, suddenly they elected Mr. Führer Beaver, and that the end. And he said, I'm just hearing this music in my head. And then Royce turned around and goes, what, you mean like when Homer has that flashback to The Simpsons when he's in Germany, but in Chocolate Land, he says, well, I'm in Germany. It's 1930, but it's a different kind of music, kind of marching music, and there's a lot of flags. But I can't YouTube's new terms of services. And I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, that is so funny. Like, but it's so true because, like, yeah, out of nowhere. And then as I was, that's what I keep trying to say. See this trans kid thing. I was watching this program the other day, and again, it was on Revenge of the Sis. They show a lot of this stuff, but you're not allowed to point it out. See the new terms of services. It's literally, you can't name the Jew. That is what the services. Do not call out Zionism. Do not call it out. Do not point it out. Do not call it out. And they literally had, see on so what they done, you know how when they show a video, right?
Are you talking about they give like a link to Wikipedia?
Like, no, in Revenge of the Sis, when they're showing a video, because they're not allowed to say things, right? You're not allowed, for example, both me and you right now are not allowed to say that there's only two genders because that would be hateful and bigoted of us and we could get banned. Luckily, because we're not like, there's not a lot of people with eyes on us. If we had like maybe a few million subscribers, there'd probably be more people that SJW would start watching, things like that.
Yeah.
That'd get more attention, which would be annoying. I'm lucky as well because in America you've got things like Revenge of the Sis on the Southern War. Is it the Southern Poverty Center? Which in my eyes is
the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center. Yeah,
they're on their hate list, and are they not the hateful people there is?
But well, yes, the SPLC and the ADL, they're both Jew ran.
Yeah, so they're all Jews and they hate everybody, and of course it's white men are all evil. But like, yeah, so basically what they do now to get around the terms of services is when they showed trans kids, they said like they'd said about how they were going to like that Desmond Amazing started it, and then there's more, and he said Royce said not Royce, sorry, Mer said, I bet you before this starts there's not going to be one. It's basically going to be a single mothers event and no dads. And Roy said, oh no, there's a few men, but they're gay. And they said, all right, okay, cool. And so they went, and it was all single mothers, of course, and all the mothers were like just really weird. But I mean, they're not even trying to hide it anymore. It's not even subversive. They literally said, so they couldn't point this out, but they pointed, they screened, they pulled, they kept zooming in to produced by, and then the woman's face. Some, like, you can't make this up. It was like Marisla Goldstein, like the most Jewish name you've ever heard.
Silverstein, Goldstein, like the things they love the most.
Goldstein, I'm being serious. You need to see it. It was so funny. I was like, you can't make this up. The same as like the fact that like people think like, oh, like I've spoke to these people, like these white people that are like 1488 and all this kind of stuff, and like white pride, and like they actually believe this stuff. And I'm like, so what? You're trying to tell me that you don't believe you're a Christian? Yeah, no, like, yeah. And I'm like, and you believe that Jews subverted white people? And they're like, yes. I'm like, but you don't believe they subverted black culture? And they're like, well, no. And I'm like,
No, they
well,
absolutely did. They
of course, I
absolutely
know for a
did.
fact that it gets me swanky. And I said, and you believe, and I said, so you think that it's okay that black people are killing their own babies, they're having abortions, and they're saying, well, if it keeps their demographics down, then yeah. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, you're not a real Christian, because that's what cuts me off from them. Because how a baby is a baby no matter what color skin it is. It's not the baby's fault. Like how can they think that black people have a shield from subversion, like like propaganda?
Yeah.
That's basically they're basically making black people like superheroes in their mind.
Yeah, pretty much. And somebody in the chat just said, being a white male non-Jew is now a hate crime. Basically.
Yeah, basically, exactly. Yeah, being a white, yeah, yeah, and then a female that is, like, because there's Chad and Trad for female. Trad is female.
Yeah.
We are
Like
second. We're second. We're
the
second in
trad
the
interesting to me. It's like just basically women that are
base.
yeah,
But I
they're pretty base, but at the same time,
it's like
a
just
lot of them don't even have kids. Like, oh, I'm trad, but like you don't even have kids.
yeah, I know that's that exactly. Like
And they're not doing anything about it. Like I don't know about you, but I have yet to see a trad woman come out and name the Jew. Honestly, like
no. I mean, look at what Lauren Southern done. Seriously, I want to punch her in the face. Seriously.
isn't she lesbian and she's getting funded by what is it, Mossad? Or
Uh, she was
yeah.
Jew. She was getting funded by Mossad. That's why she would never name the Jew. There was pictures coming out of her with she was in interracial marriages. She would make videos with trannies in her bed. Like men with wigs, like drag queens in her bed sleeping over. But it was all beta males paying and subscribing to her and everything, so they'd all stick up for her on White Night for her and all this stuff.
Mm.
I have no idea. But like she made this really good film in Farmlands, which was about the white Christian genocide, which she actually put effort into. But then the film, which I'm so glad I didn't watch, but I watched it on Red Eye. All I watched was clips of it on Red Eye's Borderless because I just knew she was gonna ruin it because I hate her. So after I found all this stuff about her, I was like, oh, she has never named the Jew. Good point. And I was like, and I just thought there was something weird about her. So so I ended up I went turned around and watched it, and on Red Ice they said things she Lawrence two very important things Lawrence Southern three things she very important things she forgets to leave out of Borderless. The first very important thing is she gets this undercover document. It's a very important thing she catches undercover, and it's with the mic, and it's this foreign woman saying they coach the migrants to say they're Christian, to say like the day that someone grabbed their crucifix off, that they threaten their lives, and it's like acting classes. But the woman was clearly foreign, but I couldn't recognise the accent. It turns out the woman was from Israel, and it said on her page, beside the Star of David, she would do anything to prevent, even if she lived in America, but she would obviously travel over there and like get the migrants over. She would do anything to protect the safety of Israel. Like you said, people. But what about the safety of and so then Lauren takes this centrist point of view for the rest of the event, and she doesn't point out that she was an Israeli. She then takes this centrist point of view, and she goes in and she makes out that the bad people are actually the traffickers, and she says the migrants were all saying, look, and they're showing these like pathetic bruises that they've got on their arm that they could have got from anything, and I don't know, I'm not being funny, a lot of them are black from Africa, so that you can't really tell if they're bruised or not. It just looks like old scars, to be honest. Like,
I tell you, you want to know what journalist calls out Israel is go listen to I posted it on my Twitter a few weeks ago, but the last episode Joe Rogan had on Abby Martin. So if you go to that episode, I forget what number it was, but the last time he had Abby Martin if you fast forward to, I think it's like the 20-minute mark, she starts to really get into Israel and all their little misdoings and how they're murdering Pakistani people. And about like the t-shirts that Israeli soldiers were wearing, like the one shot, two kills with the crosshairs over the pregnant woman's belly. It's freaking, it's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. But yet nobody knows about this.
Well, you turn on the mainstream media, all you see is Jewish women killed in horrific bombing. You turn on, and it's on every news outlet for days. And then you put on the alternate media, and you find out actually it was over 200 Palestinians that were killed, and one Jewish woman happened to be there. But if you have alternate media, how would we know that? So it's all. Again, I'm quoting Revenge of the Sis here. But they were like, it's almost like one of them has American style military and the other one doesn't, which is so true. Like, but you look at
$4 billion, just about $4 billion a year, every year.
And the fact that Gollum Heights thing, like, that just makes me so annoyed. Like, I just want to. It makes me just think, you evil. What happened to your Trump? Like, I didn't know he was a Jew.
Well, think about it. Like, who knows what type of blackmail these people have on him? And not to mention, like, his daughter is almost like a conflict of interest at this point. Like, she married into it. And now the son-in-law, so Kushner, is going over there and basically doing dealings for the United States. Like, I trust that guy about as far as I can throw him.
I didn't think you should mix family with, like, especially presidential business. That is,
I
did. Second they got done Donald Trump Jr., I was like, no.
Yeah, it's a direct conflict of interest, and I'm not comfortable with that at all.
That came in. That's honestly when he stopped doing things like about banning Muslims and banning people, and started going all and like gave up on it, and it was all Israel. Israel's our biggest ally. What has Israel done for us? Like, that's like saying,
not a damn. What they've done, I'll tell you what they've done. They've started just about every single war, and then they get American soldiers to go and die in the sandbox for their evilness.
Yeah, and the amount of people, you've known people, I've probably known people, like, the amount of people that known things from 9/11 that maybe believe that Israel either knew or were complicit and let it happen, because the funny thing to me, the thing that I find amusing, if they did have anything to do with or had any pre-knowledge to 9/11, kind of backfired, because guess what, Jews, Muslims don't like you, and Muslims would rather side with me and her than you any day, because you killed the Messiah and they fucking hate you.
Well, it's funny because like the Muslims we have, especially we have Ilhan Omar. She's a Democratic representative. Yeah. What is she from? Minnesota. I know
exactly.
But she actually came out, like, this is where I'll give her credit. She came out and she named the Jew. She named AIPAC. You know.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, good for her. Of course, I mean, she's a Muslim, so that's its own problem. But at least she named the Jew.
Apologies, but see, that is as one of my favorite tweets as well. Is Israel has put a spell on the world, blah 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 blah, and I was like, yes. Like, everything she said, it doesn't matter what she said. What she said was fucking true. Her tweets are true.
Exactly, and I don't even care who says it. Have you ever watched any of Pat Little?
I'll need to watch them, definitely.
I've been trying to email him. I don't know if it's his correct email. But yeah, he is literally he's like the hero. He's the hero we all freaking need. He's going out there and actually naming the Jew. He gave up a lot of stuff in order to even do this. And like, he got J-woke and then went crazy with it. Not crazy, but he dedicated his life basically to naming the Jew.
Can I go, like, that's like me, like, I didn't become an activist until I became J-woke, and it was like, because once you do, like, once it starts to really affect you, like, I mean, obviously I knew about them, but I didn't know what they were doing, and then when I read Lockie's book about what they were going to be flooding the EU, and then I saw the Europe with migrants, and then it started happening, I was like, oh hell no. So I was like telling people, But like I'll get attacked at rallies and things by Tommy supporters. But then I've actually had Tommy supporters protect me and say, listen, we know he's a Zionist, but at the same time we're just using him because he's going to help us kill the Paki bastards and all this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
that's what's it's sad. It's like you have to. I don't
I'm
know,
like,
man.
I'm like, I know this will sound really ignorant to me, but like it's basically like if you're gonna let a bunch of loose animals into like a museum, right? They're gonna wreck things. They're just doing what they naturally do. That is, they don't see people like they see over here, like walking around the way we walk. They are ultra conservative, if you would like to say. Like women are not allowed to go out unless they're like a post box. Like in some of the states, it's just crazy. And the fact that, I mean, right now, like if you look up Birmingham, I don't know if you've seen what's happening in Birmingham, but I mean, there was a gay teacher teaching Muslim children. It was because now the school curriculum, and I see when I have children, like seriously, I've been finding it so hard to date because I was engaged, but my ex fiance passed away 3 years ago, so it's taken me a while to get over my ex. But basically, like I'm like I have been going on dates and things, but a lot of the guys, they are either soy boys, fence sitters, don't care in politics at all, have no values. They literally they're just so no like. And then my local church, even, it's just I'm the youngest person by 60 years at least. They're really old. I don't know what it is, and like I don't want to go be one of those people that go on a dating site like Tinder or something because it's like all people just trying to sleep with each other. But yeah, like I'm just like okay, it's okay, it's okay. And then I don't want to go out clubbing as well because like you just I don't know like maybe go out for like a night out to a classy place like with a bunch of friends or something like that. It's just trying to meet people. Do you know what I mean? It's hard, like, but um, they've made it so like because obviously growing up they just completely destroyed the family. They made it it's the woman's right. Men have no rights. Like a woman can terminate her pregnancy even if the boyfriend's begged him not to. She can kill her fetus. It's up to there. She can do whatever, and it's somehow that's meant to be empowering. How's that empowering? And they say they'll show like I saw an article and it was like, why give up this for this? And it was a pair of heels, a pair
Oh,
of
with the pacifier, I saw that.
yeah, and then why give it? And it was a holiday for a pacifier. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe because you're keeping your bloodline going and being a mother would be the best thing in the world. And my mum said loving me and my sister was like no love she'd ever felt in her whole lifetime.
Yeah, it's
That's
sad. Like, it is. It's the destruction of the family, and you understand who. Like, when you read the Bible, especially when it talks about the Amalekites, like that's basically like kind of the white people,
yeah.
and the goal is to kill them. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. That's why you see it's only Western white cultures that they're doing this to: South Africa, Europe, the U.S., Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Like I can keep on naming lists
You
all day. I tell you who they're not fucking with. They're not fucking with Russia. Like
know
base.
why are they not fucking with Russia? Because Russia will fucking kick their ass. That's how
Exactly, exactly. So it's like, why does the
the
media
left
hate Putin?
wants
Because Putin's
war
not
with
pulling out with Jews.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll give credit where it's due. Putin's based, like he knows,
He
Putin
is
knows.
Putin. He's old enough to remember. Like he's like, I don't forget, motherfucker. They've got two phrases, and it's Russian phrases, and I think they're quite funny. And like, one of them, what is it like? The Jew will strike out as he hits you, and then the other one, like it translates something to like the Jew will strike out as he strikes you, or the Jew will cry out as he strikes you. It translates to. The other one is the Jew will list everything that has ever bad happened to him, but will never tell you the reasons why.
Exactly,
This
exactly.
like,
Mm-hmm.
do you not remember at school? mean, why Scottish history? I was doing Scottish history. Why was I learning about Germany Nazis, and why was
Mm-hmm.
you bad?
You guys were too?
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's
what
the
we were
same thing in
talking
Scotland?
about. Nazis. Yes, that
That's
and
how it was for us. Like,
no,
we break.
you
Like, I
don't.
remember we
Yeah,
studied the American Revolution.
the
We
same
studied
way.
the Civil War.
Nelson Mandela was a hero. I had to draw a plate about how he was a hero. I didn't know that he was actually. They told me he was a political prisoner. I didn't know that he was actually a terrorist, and that he was a bad man, and he's the reason now this whole black farmers thing and the whole reason behind Black Lives Matter. Like that's who they use as the Nelson
Oh, they
Mandela.
use Martin Luther King Jr. as well, and it's
Yeah,
weird. Like it's even happening. So the church that I attend, the pastor actually brought up Martin Luther King Jr. We were doing some stupid bullshit where it's like racial reconciliation, right? But it's sad because they're using like Martin Luther King Jr. as some type of, like, the guy was horrible. Like he cheated on his wife all the time. He had like
yeah,
a lot of issues, and nobody seems to want to.
yeah,
Plus, he's Jew controlled,
yeah,
so they will. Like I don't know, like damn. But it was the same way in my school. Like okay, so we learned American Revolution, the Civil War. We've like breezed over World War I, and
yeah.
then all of a sudden, boom! It stops.
We
Full
didn't.
Hitler,
We forget
Nazi.
World War One. We didn't know about World War One. And also, can I just say, in America, I'm sorry, in Scotland, we had to learn about Black History Month and
Did
slavery.
you really?
Yes. Why? What the fuck? What has slavery got to do with us? Like we like what? Why did we learn about like where it's close to home, like Irish slaves? Um, like I've had people like Americans that have like when I had my laptop and see my microphone, they'd come on and they'd say, "Can you prove? Um, can you prove? Can you prove that there was actually Irish slaves in America?" And I was like, "Well, if I could add a time travel machine, I should be able to. But maybe if you go to your local library and read some books, you'll find out that that's a fact." Why did you think it said no blacks, no Irish, and no dogs? I said, Irish people just don't go on about it all the time. She was like, I want you to say that black people deserve reparations. But I could hear her voice, she was white. And I was like, can I ask you what colour you are? She was like, colour does not matter. It's a social construct, not construct. I was like, what does that even mean? Like, what? Like, and I was just like, oh, I just couldn't argue with that person, so I just hung up and I was like, I hate people like that, like saying all that everything's a social construct, gender's a social construct, this is this, but they're all doing this. The reason it's all satanic. Like I believe it is like it says in the Bible, it's a fight between good and evil, and these people that say like that they use Jew and anti-Semitism as a shield, but they don't worship anybody. Like they turned away the true Messiah, and look what they done to him. He forgave them. He was like, yeah, okay, like, but I mean, they're the most racist. Could you imagine like Christians turning around and saying like we're God's chosen people, we're actually a race? You can only it can only be if your mother has you, and when if you can't have dual nationality. This is the things they have in Israel. Nick Fuentes, it was one of Nick Fuentes' videos that I saw as well. He said basically that um, Israel wrote an article in the Israel Times, and it said that there was 20,000, and then he showed you some stats in America, like a day that come over, and then in even the UK that's more Israel size, and that's nothing. It's basically like a fly. Uh, but he said they were called invaders. Now, for us to do that on the YouTube, that their terms of services, we're not allowed to say they're invaders. But and also, even in the mainstream media, if we were to say they're invaders, we'd be known as these hateful, bigoted, like full of hate, blah blah blah. Like they dare say that, but Israel can say it. Israel can say they're invaders, just coming here and just using, sucking up our resources and blah 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 blah.
Yep. Yep.
They're closed borders. They're allowed to have a wall. They're allowed to do all this stuff. And it's such a double standard. It's like one rule for you, but the rest for everybody else. But it's exactly back to that question that you asked earlier. Like, if you really thought you were one of God's chosen people, then what would you not do to protect that class? And I mean, Ben Shapiro is somebody I have a personal beef with. Like, me personally, when he went on Joe Rogan and said that Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, was a criminal and deserves to die on the cross, and it did say that Mary was a whore, and that Jesus was in his own feces, and he actually admitted that he made a lot of Jews mad as well. But like, I wanted to, I challenged him to a fight, and like a lot of people me. I was like, I'm 5 foot, so I'm nearly as tall as you. I think I could take you. Come on. I'm not a tranny, so I'm not going to charge you for hitting me. I know you're a lawyer. You're going to say, oh, you must be a libtard, but I'm no libtard. I'm more right wing than you. Any day, pal. Now, come on. Or what is it? Yeah, yeah. No, what's the word that triggered him the last time? A white supremacist. No, I'll just call him a supremacist.
He's a Jewish supremacist.
Yeah,
you need to. You gotta. I'll after we're done here, I'm gonna send you a video of Patrick Little doing this interview with a Japanese reporter, and it's one of the greatest things you'll ever see on YouTube. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, because I'd love to follow him. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to him. He's kind of I don't know where he is. I haven't seen any videos posted on his channel, and of course they've shut down him on Twitter. They pretty much
everybody that's too base is just gone. There was a guy called Sean Burgess, and he had 7,000 followers, and but he would get like so many likes and everything, and he basically was the only J woke nationalist Australian, the only one on YouTube.
You talk about who'd you say? Fraser Anning? Who'd you say?
Sherman Burgess, and his channel, no strikes, nothing, just gone boom in the Vox Apocalypse, and I lost a good 18 subscribers. I was like, what? Why?
Wow. Shutting things down, that's it. And it's like, we need to talk about what we're not supposed to talk about. And like, I mean, I've had people tell me before, like, Ashley, you can't be doing this, but like, I say, fuck it. Like, I don't have anything to lose, and I have children. Like, I have a vested interest in this future, in the future of this country, and I want more kids. So I need to look out for my kids, my family, my siblings, and their children. Like, somebody needs to take a damn stand and just say the truth.
Children, and like, that's the thing, and that's my plan. My plan is, obviously, I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna have children. I want children so badly. Like I said, I was engaged, and me and my ex, obviously, I would have had children by now, but it was just that there was things didn't work out that well. But we were all kind of broken in our own ways, like, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Over it. But it's not that I got over it. You learn to deal with it. Like, I learned to deal with my dad's death. I learned to deal with losing the baby, and then we thought to ourselves, oh, well, it's okay, we can have another one. And then I lost him, and I was like, well, that's me. There's like, something must be wrong with me. But I could have so easily went down the genocide route and just be like, oh, screw it, I'll just become this drug addict or whatever, just to ease the pain on anything. But I just focused all my energy and all my rage and the kind of activism, and just like kind of waking people up, and just, do you know, honestly, the best people that I meet is actually at rallies. Like,
do the people in Scotland, are they pretty like politically active, or do people kind of keep to themselves?
People in Scotland and Glasgow, yes, they're very based. Like, Scottish people, like, in the West, and a lot of Polish Scottish people, like a lot of Polish that have immigrated, that have been here for like 11 years, are very based. And I think because they're like Eastern European, whereas if you're just European, they've not fought for so long and were cucked. I don't know what it is, but because they're so close to Russia, maybe they know. So like they're kind of like, no, we know about the Jew. We know. We've named the Jew, and look where it got us. We gave them refuge, and look, I mean, 109 countries. I'm not being funny, but if I was a drinker and I'd been chucked out of 109 bars, I would maybe ask myself, should I be drinking? Is there something to do with me? But they never self-reflect ever. It's always somebody else's fault. And why history? I wish I could have went back in time and asked, what was the sir? What books was Hitler burning?
Yeah, exactly.
No, like we're not
Exactly.
told that. We were just told he was burning books. He must be bad. But like as a
Oh,
child, too stupid to ask like what books.
yeah, exactly. We just told he burns books. I do have a question in the chat. Said why Scotland is anti-Brexit.
Mm. We're not. We voted now. We won. It's not. It's the media, the mainstream media lies. Please believe me. It's the same way as they say that we all hate Trump. We do not. The only problem we have with Trump is the whole Israel thing. But everybody loved Trump. Like the mainstream media, we have right now. We actually have a conservative government. Believe it or not, it is not conservative. The main leader, Theresa May, because she has committed treason 5 times by denying the British people who voted, and I was one of them, to leave the EU, and that happened 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago. And then just there in May the 23rd, I got to vote again, and I voted for the Brexit Party, and we won again by a landslide, by a party that had only been out for 6 weeks. And Scotland even boom, but the media portrayed it as, oh, they only won. But do you know the way they done it? They basically got all of the other candidates, all of them all. So imagine like football, right? Saying instead of saying there's two like I don't know, like I'm trying to think of two, like say a Celtic and Rangers are like two football teams, right? They basically said one team against all of the rest in the Premier League. But look, they only won by a tiny margin. How you can't do that? You can't bundle them up and say that, like you can't do that. Like what? That makes no sense. We won by a landslide. Like the rest of them, like the Conservatives came off so badly, the worst they have ever came off ever in history.
That's insane. I feel like something if something like that ever happened here, I hope like hell people would get their damn guns and march on Washington and demand these people's fucking heads, you
Oh
know?
no, we happened. Trust me, I got basically I was kind of forced out as a Brexiteer because being a Brexiteer is kind of like being like a Trump fan in America. Like you get like attacked on the street and things like that by feminists and just all these idiots and people that think you're racist. But I was in the paper because like when we were down at when they betrayed us again on March the 29th, um, we were outside of Westminster screaming abuse, like treasonous me. We want out, get out. We want leave, pack your bags and leave. We'd made up like all these wee tunes like for to go basically, and we were just screaming. But like then I noticed myself the next day in the paper, and it looked like I'm screaming in the police's face. But I was pointing over the police. We all were. But I remember I'm 5 foot. The police were all standing lined up, guarding Westminster, and they were all hiding. You could see them like looking out the windows like that, like, like big crap bags. They saw like, yeah, and then they said, but then I just saw on the bus back home the next day was on the Telegraph, Brexit rally abuse of abuse of police gets out of control, and then you just see my volunteer, and I'm like, no, no. So everybody saw me, and when I came back up, they were like, I didn't. The first thing my mother asked me was why I joined the National Front. And I was like, Mother, are you actually serious? And she was like, I was like, first of all, the National Front hasn't been around for years. The National Front's kind of like, it's like no blacks, no anything, just whites only. They want to bring back hanging. Like, I mean, they are extremely far right. They are like crazy people, but they haven't done anything for years. But they take credit for a lot of stuff. I was like, Mum, no. I said you voted for Brexit as well, and she was like, Yeah, of course I did. But you like, this isn't the way to go. You're hanging around with extremists and like Tommy Robertson. I was like, Mum, I said that I would never hang around with Tommy Robertson for the love of God, no. I was like, he's a shell. She was like, what do you mean he's a shell? I said, he's a Jew. And she was like, oh, she was like, I knew it. And I was like, I said that. And I was like, I'm only joking, Mum. I'm just trying to wind you up. I said, I'm only joking. You know I love Hitler the best. And I just said, and she was like, she says, don't, you gave me a bit of pride there saying that about Jews. And I was like, why? She's so like people really do. If you ask anybody, like someone done a poll on like who's the most persecuted people in the house, like who are the most persecuted people, and everybody still says Jews. How are they the most persecuted? Like it's Christians are the most persecuted people on the planet today. Right now, boom, a Nigerian has been killed. Christian has been killed by a Muslim. Right now, boom, another one. Right now, white Christian farmer. Right now, is being mutilated and raped in front of our family. It's horrific. It really is. All over the world, all over the world. And then Christians are being burnt in cages all over all these Saudi countries. It's just disgusting.
It's happening here. I just wish people would just start speaking the truth about it. Like, I don't know.
What are they so scared of? Like, seriously.
That's what I'm saying. Well, a lot of people, at least from what I understand, like people have jobs and they have families and they don't want to do this, like, come out and say the truth, and because they fear persecution basically. And for me, like I said, like I've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I just want to say the damn truth. Like I have children in this, and I'm watching my homelands basically be destroyed.
Yeah.
And
well, exactly, and you've got more to protect as well. And I want a family, but I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I meet somebody like, do I want to bring my children into a world where I don't know I haven't done every single thing in the world to like stop what is going on with this Zionist agenda?
Yeah. I just want the truth to come out. Like, that's all I want. Like, if somebody, whoever it is that's calling the disruption in this world and in these countries, like, let's find out who it is and put a fucking stop to it. Like, that's all I want. Just stop. And I'm not advocating for expulsion of Jews or nothing like that. I just want them to stop.
Just leave us alone. That's it. Exactly. That's what I was saying. Like, sorry, I'm busting for the toilet. I'm like,
oh no, it's okay. We can go ahead and end this here.
Oh yeah, so I've really enjoyed chatting to you. It's been amazing. Like, thank you for having me on your channel.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming on and sharing your stories and what's going on over in Scotland. Like, not many people are fully aware of what's happening.
So much more I could have told. I could have talked to you all day about this stuff. There's so much more as well. Like, seriously, it's just I'm literally about to be myself. Like, it's my own fault for drinking like so much tea before. I'm like,
no, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, go. So yeah, I'll post a link to your Twitter and your YouTube channel in the description. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, please, that'd be amazing. Thank you so much. Honestly, say hi to all your fans for me, and thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, this was great. Thank you a lot.
And that's why I emailed you. I didn't think you'd respond at all, and I saw you seen you respond. I was like,
I'm just a normal person. Ain't nothing special.
No,
just come.
No, I know. Like, but see when you're a YouTuber, like, because even like I know like PewDiePie done a video like saying like he hates all these like YouTubers that think they're famous and all this kind of stuff. Like, that's why he doesn't go to this. There's a convention or something where they get treated like celebs. Saying, I mean, it's okay if you just come up to me and treat like you're normal, but like it is kind of like, see if you're watching someone on a screen and like you see them and you admire them and you admire the work that they do and the fact that you speak the truth, you're brave enough to And do you know what I mean? You like the words that you say. I'm like, she's naming the truth. She's doing it, and she's Glasgow.
Yes.
So she's doing it with like balls and like the
This is
fact
what I hope,
that
like just speak the truth and then other people are going to attach onto you because they're
yes,
seeing the same thing. And
yeah,
maybe like I'm just hoping maybe I can inspire somebody else to just speak up, like just say the
yeah,
truth. What do you have to lose? Everything.
exactly. You've done it with me 100%, and I can't wait to get my laptop back this week because then I'll have my mic back and like I can like actually stream better. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep speaking the truth because I do see my fans like I've got right now I've got like just under 300 like 270 because I got a lot lost in the purge, but 230 subscribers. But I've just been streaming since March, April, about April, and it's like so the fans of like they're really loyal and they know what I'm all about. They know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about. So I'll use certain code words like to because like obviously what I'm gonna have to do. I know if I want to get monetized ever, but still talk the truth, or if I don't really want to get monetized because I think the second you do it, but the second
You'll be
if I
under a
do
microscope, basically. You
it,
do that.
well exactly. So I've kept my monetized button off, but because I don't need PayPal because I've got my PayPal. People can just PayPal me anyway because they ask me what my PayPal is, and I just give them I just write it on the thing and I do it on my Streamlabs or in my Google Hangouts. I'll just tell them. Do you know what I mean? I'll just write out what it is, and uh, yeah, just 100% like just you attract. I seem to have the best people like, and it's all like all the ROTC community. They've all like just welcomed me in with that like open arms. Like they're all really like cool, and they've kind of became fans of mine. And then we're all kind of from the same communities, but
Mm-hmm.
I attract really good people because it's honest people, and they're from again like I mean, it doesn't. They're different races, but we've all got the same kind of ideology. We just want to be left alone
Yeah.
to not have like I think I can't remember what comedian made this joke. I really can't. But a comedian made a joke about your genitals. Like he was talking, you, but somebody was talking about the joke about Amy Schumer talking about her pussy smelling like a barnyard animal, and he basically said, "I that you should talk about religion the way you would talk about your private genitals. You don't
Mm.
want to shove it in anyone's face." And I totally agreed with the joke. I was like, I get it, but I got it at the same time with Amy Schumer. But like, and he was talking also about the gay pride parade. I think it was either that and her being disgraceful as always. But yeah, there's no surprise there what race slash religion she is. um, but and now she's pregnant. Um, but yeah, she just just basically a last word. Sorry, I'm rambling on again, but like the she just what was this thing that she just the they're just they just annoy me. That's it basically. There's so much I could say to you, but I'm really glad. Thank you for taking the time for.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again because I know you actually go out on the streets and you're living in freaking
Yeah, and I can
Glastanistan.
like I'll watch through it and I will get you video footage, but I need to make sure I've got mails with me, because I could
Mm.
go myself because it's illegal to carry a weapon in the UK. Okay, and I could get up to 5 years. A paedophile gets probation. A rapist gets
Jesus.
probation. So if I was to try and defend myself and I stabbed somebody trying to gang rape me, one of the gang rapists, I would go to prison. They wouldn't. It's all crazy, but in a different universe where there wasn't someone that watches your every word that you're saying on YouTube, I would carry a knife everywhere if I had to
Mm.
in certain places. because I am not getting gang raped. I'm just not. No way that it's not happening to me. Like I've seen what it's.
Yeah, just be careful when you're out there. Like surround yourself with people that you
Yeah,
trust and
that's
can
it.
help you in a
Yeah,
situation.
well, I've had to cut those. I mean, I learned like years ago to cut toxic people out of my life and like energy vampires like that. Like I don't mean like literal vampires. I mean like those toxic like people that just it's me all the time. They just suck the life out of you and just toxic people out, cut them out of your life, negative people and like I was saying, the communities that we both seem to attract, like you were saying as well, like it's good people because if you speak the truth, people just want to know the truth. People in general just want to know who's lying to me and why, what's going on.
Yeah.
It just
Mm-hmm.
it just be left alone.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Well, Lacy, thank you so much
I know,
for
thank
coming on. We're gonna do this again, okay? Because this is great to get insight, especially from like a person that actually lives in Europe
yeah, exactly.
and
No,
seeing this.
yeah, like if anything happens, I can like just go down to the scene because people will like put in money to my PayPal for me to like go down because it's the UK. It takes me like 4 hours on the train to get to London, and that's from Glasgow. That's how small the UK is. Like, so I'm like boom, 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 like to Manchester. It's like 2 hours. I mean, it's really like quick for me to get everywhere, like with transport. And because it's the red eye they call it, the train. So yeah, like, and I can like capture live events happening.
Yeah, just be careful. That's all I ask. But
Oh,
yeah,
100. Oh, I've been to that many. I know what to do. Like because I'm so small, I have male escorts, not actual escorts, but male escorts escorting me around that are bigger than me, big brawly lads, and they just basically are there for if anybody tries to start anything because I'm 5 foot and 7 stone. I'm really petite. I'm tiny. So they're like, look, leave her alone. You know what I mean? Look at the size of her, and they just jump in straight away. She really starts this time, so it's good.
wow, amazing. But all right, well, Lacy, thank you again for coming on. We'll do this again soon. All right.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. God bless. Seriously, thank
Yeah, you too. You too. Be
you.
safe.
Thank you. You
All
too.
right. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. That was Lacy. Man, I loved her accent, by the way. But like this is the shit that's actually going on. So for guys that tuned in later, she actually messaged me on Twitter first and was like, "Hey, I'm a big fan of you," which is that's so crazy to hear. But yeah, so she's was basically saying like this is the shit that's happening where I live, and nobody's. I don't know if who else is here in the chat now. But if you haven't been paying attention to what's going on in Europe, like open your fucking eyes and pay attention to what's happening over there because it's just a reflection of what's going to happen. Canada the same way. It's the same exact way. So yeah, just get woke, you guys. God, accent is the best accent, says the Scott. Is the next segment? I don't know. I have to ask Melky when he's available. And then we can do another Bible stream. What are you guys saying? Look, guys. I know. So somebody was in here talking about flat Earth. Get that shit out of here. Anyway, yes, Josh Smith. I would like to get him on the stream. But the thing is, I kind of want somebody else on that's going to come and try to debate with him. So somebody that will give him some opposition. Just because it's easy for somebody to come in and like say all this, but like I've heard Josh before, he's freaking great. I would love to have him on actually. Look, the Canadian accents, eh? about. That's so funny. Are you afraid of the truth, Ash? No. Truth is what I want. Like, I wish everybody would start speaking it, and then maybe we can get some shit done. I have to Talmud so I can figure out what the hell they're on about. Yeah, you should get a copy of the Talmud Eke. Let's see here. Actually, there's a song I want to play for you guys. So give me a second here. And I swear, I've been playing this for my kids like nonstop. They probably think I'm a crazy person. Let me see. Norvin versus Jod on Good Jews versus Josh. Dude, best mate Smith. Oh, let's see, you guys. Stream the Brundlecast is now the Ash stream. I know everybody's like flocking over here. It's funny, which I don't care. I'm just somebody come on. If you want to call out the you know who, then by all means, freaking do it. That's all I care about. Just freaking call out who the room is. All right, here we go. I'm gonna take my headphones out actually, so we can So for now on, seriously, anytime anybody kind of says anything I don't like or that's super liberal or left wing, I'm just gonna start doing this. I'm gonna start playing. Hold on a second. Oh man, freaking great. Let's see here. It's gonna be my theme song, y'all. Dang, now you guys are talking. I know I need to have, I'm going to do a Jew stream one day, a straight up just Jew stream. And this is going to be the opening song before the stream starts. You guys ready? Uh-oh. That's it. So as soon as you guys, if you guys start whistling that when MJ or the SJW start messing around, freaking play it. That's Southern pride. I'm telling you that the South's going to be the only thing that if the country gets saved, it's going to be by white Southerners. Mark my word. Well, not, it don't even have to be white Southerners, just true Southern people in general. That's who's going to save our culture, our heritage, our traditions. It's that Bible Belt. Everybody in the media likes to make fun of the stupid white people down in the South. Mark my words, we're coming again, and we're gonna make America. We're gonna make America again, y'all. All right. Anyways, I've been doing this for a while, so I would help this out in goddamn week. Yeah, the damn Yanks. The real traitors were the Yankees. The tyrannical Yankees that we were all taught in school were the good guys. Nope. I was born a Yank. Yeah, this is like that should be the theme song of America. And I'm also all pro the Confederate flag. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna hang it up behind me too. It's time to whip out that Southern pride, y'all. Knows what Los Angeles like. For real this time. That's true. I wasn't trying, like, I didn't vote, or well, no, I didn't vote anyways. But I'm sure a lot of the people that voted for Trump weren't really taking into consideration that he's going to make Israel great again, or make Israel greater than what they are. What about Idaho? Everybody's so stuck on Idaho. Like, I don't want to go. I got nothing there. I'm going home. Like, that's right. I want to go back home to the Blue Ridge Mountains, to the place I belong. Let's see here. A Calvinist? No, I'm not a Calvinist. Boise is communist infiltrated. Probably. I don't know. I have a hard time trusting the folk that are west of the Mississippi, even Texas, for that matter. Maybe not. I don't know. I think the line probably stops at Texas, from like Texas straight up. I don't know. Wyoming seems like they're probably pretty based. No, I just want to go back to my roots, where my family is, where I'm from. All right. Okay, guys, I gotta go. I'm getting hungry. Yes, so we hungry. Remember, Somalis stuck there. There's Somalis stuck everywhere, and I'm sick and tired of this shit. The culture is closer to mine. I don't know where it is. I'm a bit paused. It's all right, Eke. South. See, this is the thing about Southerners is they're pretty open and they're good people. So if you come there, as long as you're not toting a rainbow flag, like, you're good to go in like Southern Eye. And you gotta get I don't know, start listening to country, Eke, a little bit, like the old country. Like, all right, I'm gonna play this and then I'm gonna sign out. Ready?
Where is shadows in the land of coffee, old time